I'm Molly Pesci, and this is Barnes & Noble Tagged. She climbed every mountain and made the medicine go down with just a spoonful of sugar. And now the amazing Julie Andrews and her daughter, Emma Walton Hamilton, are here with their new book, Julie Andrews' collection of poems, songs, and lullabies. Julie Andrews' career has flourished over 6 decades. From her legendary Broadway performances to her roles in such iconic films as The Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, Thoroughly Modern Millie, 10, and Princess Diaries, to her best-selling children's books, including Mandy and the last of the really great Whangdoodles, and her recent best-selling memoir, Home. Her daughter, Emma Walton Hamilton, is also a best-selling children's book author, editor, and arts educator. In partnership with her mother, Emma has co-authored 19 children's books, 4 of which have been on the New York Times bestseller list, including Dumpy the Dump Truck and Thanks to You, Wisdom from Mother to Child. And we are thrilled to have both mother and child with us today, Julie Andrews and Emma Walton Hamilton. Julie Andrews and Emma Walton Hamilton, you've been tagged. This is the biggest honor ever to have you both here. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks
having us.
So I want to start with you, Julie. All the success, all the recognition you've had. I'm a mother, and it must be so incredibly special to sit here with your daughter and have produced this beautiful book. Is that one of the great moments?
Can identify with that, because yes, it is. And who knew that when Emma was a tiny child, and sort of hip high and just my daughter, that we would be facing each other as two, adult human beings and enjoying each other as two mature women, sharing the creating and doing all the good things that we do.
How is the process? I mean, with mother and daughter, do you argue over this is a collection of poems now? You get along well?
We thought we might. We weren't sure, because we always say we're both a little bossy.
Yes.
But no, as a matter of fact, I think we're mostly pretty respectful of one another, and luckily we have fairly complementary strengths, it seems, and we know when to surrender.
Yeah, so, and when to surrender is when one of us is really, really passionate about something. There's a sort of recognition that the other needs to be listened to and maybe possibly right.
Yeah.
And we really do give in when necessary. And Emma's strength is all about structure and the layout of a book and the way it looks and how it looks. Well, I guess that's partly mine too.
Yeah.
But and mine is really more the sort of taking off occasionally with flights of fancy.
Yeah.
And I'm inclined to sort of do
You're
the
the
beginning.
visionary.
Yeah.
Well, nuts and bolts.
Well, I'm not sure about that. We're both. It's lovely because we laugh a lot and we finish each other's sentences a lot.
As you can probably tell.
But it's great because there's never a problem who's going to do. You both seem to read each other. Emma, you've had a lot of work in children's literature. You are very passionate. I mean, you talk about your passion, but you're very passionate about that.
I am.
Both are, yeah.
Thank you. We both are. I mean, it's a big piece of what we want the Julie Andrews collection, which is not just this book, but a whole series of other books that we've written together to be about. And, we both believe that there is nothing more important than reading with kids and nurturing children to grow up to be readers, because their success in life, and obviously in school and so forth, but even in life beyond, depends on that. And so we often get asked at book signings and so forth, how can we keep our children reading?
This was my question, my next question. This is what I'm thinking. How do we?
Well, I actually went about studying this question because we get asked the question so much, and wrote a book about it called Raising Bookworms. And for me, what I learned is that it's about preserving the joy, because so much of the time when kids go to school and start learning to read independently, and all of a sudden the emphasis moves away from the cozy, warm love association of reading, with their parents and so forth, to homework and chore and responsibility. And our job, I think, is to keep the joy alive and look for what I call stealth mode ways to make it fun.
Describe the book for you. It's called Julie Andrews' Collection of Poems, Songs, and Lullabies. Tell us about this collection.
Well, it's a compilation of our favorite poems, and I was much influenced by my father when I was young. He read to me as a child and taught me poems, and often himself committed long poems to memory because he felt he'd never be lonely if he had There's a wonderful poem in here called Keep a Poem in Your Pocket. And it's sort of what he did. And I guess I passed that love on to Emma, and she's now passing it on to her children. So it's a compilation of all the things that I loved as a kid, plus the things that we discovered and the things that I passed on to Emma. But the other thing is that I was allowed to do something that I wanted to do, which is to include the poetry of the words to songs. Because when I sing a song, I find that so many of the songs I love are a piece of poetry. If you take the music away, they stand up completely. If you think, obviously, about the most favorite ones like My Favorite Things or from Mary Poppins, there's a lovely song called Feed the Birds. They are pieces of poetry. And I'd love for parents and grandparents and children to find the words and then discover that there's a wonderful tune that goes with them.
I think you'll completely succeed. This is the most beautiful book. It's out right now. I have loved it. I'm reading it with my family. I think everyone else will. We encourage everyone. What a fabulous holiday gift, too, as well. It's
yes,
perfect.
Yes. Or any time of the year.
Well, absolutely. It doesn't
Very
matter.
smartly spoken.
Anytime. Exactly. I wanted to know, will you all hang around for the end of the show and read a poem for us?
Sure. Love to.
Oh, thrilling. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Here's a tagged close-up, an update on a holiday classic. You'll want to dance along as you read. Here is the beloved holiday fantasy, The Nutcracker, retold by John Czech. Czech based his version on E.T.A. Hoffmann's original, without all the old-fashioned turns of phrase. It features not only the story familiar to all ballet lovers, but other wondrous adventures, and an explanation of the origins of the Nutcracker himself. And it is uniquely illustrated by Eric Puyberet, whose imaginative art you may recognize from Peter Yarrow and Lenny Lipton's book, Puff the Magic Dragon. And that's my close-up for this week. Every week, we take a look at the best in the world of books, movies, and music. And here are my top tags just for kids. Standing tall at number 5 is Castle Logics from Educational Insights. The challenge is to assemble the wooden blocks and towers into one of the castles in the puzzle booklet. Puzzles range from inexperienced to challenging. Brewing in the lab at number 4 is Here Comes Science, another fun educational collection of songs from They Might Be Giants. Here Comes Science covers everything from astronomy to new frontiers, like electric cars. Floating into number 3 is Up, out on DVD and Blu-ray. An excitable 8-year-old wilderness explorer and a septuagenarian make for entertaining companions when they find themselves afloat in a house propelled by balloons. It's a Disney Pixar movie that is both funny and touching. Reporting for duty at number 2 is Nubs, the true story of a mutt, a Marine, and a miracle, by Major Brian Dennis, and co-authored by Kirby Larson and Mary Nethery. Nubs, an Iraqi dog of war, goes on an incredible mission to find his friend, Major Dennis. Sandwiched in at number 1 is Paula Deen's cookbook for the lunchbox set. Paula Deen's second cookbook for kids organizes recipes according to occasions that might occur during the school year. A sleepover, a birthday party, or bake sale. Clearly labeled ingredients and illustrations of friends and family give the book an inviting feel. And those are my top tags just for kids.
Emma and Julie, thank you so much for sticking around, and you're going to read a poem for us.
A very, very short one.
It's an abridged version of a favorite poem that we love called The Reading Mother
Oh, how perfect.
by Strickland Gilliland.
And it says, you may have tangible wealth untold, caskets of jewels and coffers of gold.
Richer than I, you can never be. I had a mother who read to me.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. It gets everybody a little teary. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching Barnes & Noble Tagged.